Do you wake up at night with your hands on fire, as if ants were crawling on them, or like thousands of tiny needles were pricking you? Or does it happen that you stand up and your feet feel strange, like you're walking on a thick carpet, even though you're barefoot? Stay with me, because this is important. Sometimes that tingling isn't just part of getting older. Sometimes it's a clear sign that your nervous system is missing a basic piece it needs to function properly. And when that piece is restored, the body can begin to repair itself much sooner than you imagine. Now, before we dive in, if you're interested in this kind of content, subscribe. Here we talk about health in a practical way, backed by science and without drama. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming videos. All right, let's go step by step. What you're feeling is not just a minor annoyance. I want you to do a quick check right here with me. No stress, just observe. Do your hands or feet tingle when you lie down? Is it harder to tell cold water from hot water? Has buttoning a shirt become clumsier? Do you drop things for no reason? Do you feel less steady when walking, like the floor doesn't talk to you the same way? Do you feel burning, especially at night, that never fully goes away? If you said yes to even one, your body is raising its hand. And this is what many people don't hear in time. If the problem is neurological and you ignore it, over months it can progress. It can move toward less sensitivity, more risk of tripping, and a brutal loss of everyday confidence. Not because of drama, because of mechanics. But here comes the hopeful part. Many times the cause is simpler than it seems. Your nerves are wires and they need insulation. Imagine your nerves as electrical wires. Literally, they carry signals from your brain to your hands, your feet, your skin, your muscles, and back. Now, a wire that works properly isn't just metal. It has a coating, an insulator. That protective layer helps the signal travel clearly and quickly. When that protection weakens, the signal gets noisy. It becomes irregular. And that's when strange sensations appear. Tingling, stabbing feelings, burning, numbness. With age, especially after 60, the body has a harder time maintaining and repairing that protection. Not because your body gives up, but because nutrient absorption changes, metabolism changes, medications come into play, everything shifts. And this is where a very specific protagonist enters the scene. The vitamin your nerves often cry out for. There's a B vitamin that is key for the nervous system, B1, also called thiamine. But listen carefully. I'm not telling you this as a miracle supplement. I'm telling you this as biological logic. B1 participates in processes that help the nerve produce energy, stay stable, and better repair its structure. Think of B1 as the lubricant that prevents the nervous system from working under strain. If it's lacking, the wire works, but with glitches. And those glitches are felt. And here's what confuses many people. But I eat well. Sure. And you can still be low. Why do so many older adults have low B1 without knowing it? This happens for 3 common reasons. I'll explain them simply, without complications, so you can recognize them in your own life. First reason, digestion changes. Over the years, the stomach often produces less acid. And without that digestive environment, absorbing certain vitamins becomes more difficult. You can eat the right foods, and your body may absorb less. Second reason, some medications deplete B1 over time. This isn't about demonizing medications, it's about understanding effects. Drugs used for diabetes, some diuretics for blood pressure, and others for the stomach can influence B vitamin levels. Sometimes no one checks for years. Third reason, modern food can be misleading. There are foods that fill you up, but don't nourish much. A lot of ultra-processed products, refined flours, white rice, very white breads, they provide calories, but not always enough B1. So you end up with the perfect storm. You absorb less, you use more, and your nervous system becomes more sensitive to deficiencies. What does this look like in real life? Let me give you a typical example, no drama, just so you can picture it. An active person who walks, who eats decently, starts noticing their feet feel strange. At first it's occasional, then it becomes routine. Then insecurity appears. What if I fall? And little by little activities get cut back. Fewer walks, less going out, less confidence. and suddenly, a clue appears: low B1 levels. When corrected, many people describe gradual improvements. First mental clarity or energy, then less tingling, then better sensation while walking. It's not always immediate, it's not always magical, but when the problem was a deficiency, the body responds. The form matters. Not all B1 is the same. Here's a practical detail that really can change results. Regular thiamine can help, but there's a form called benfotiamine that is sometimes used because it's absorbed and reaches tissues more efficiently in certain cases. That's why it's often mentioned when discussing nerve support. If you're considering this, the point is not to buy impulsively. The point is to follow the right approach. First, check whether there's actually a deficiency. Then choose an appropriate form if your doctor approves. And finally, do it correctly and consistently. Dosage and how to take it. What usually goes wrong? For informational purposes, and I repeat, informational, not a medical substitute, in clinical settings, ranges like 150 to 300 milligrams per day of benfotiamine have been used for nerve support in certain situations. The idea is consistent dosing and taking it in a way the body absorbs well. Here's a simple tip. Take it with food. Ideally with a meal that includes some healthy fat, egg, avocado, olive oil, nuts. That can improve absorption of some vitamin forms. Another detail, better in the morning, because these vitamins are involved in energy. For some people, taking them late can feel slightly stimulating and affect sleep. The most important thing is regularity. 3 days yes and 5 no doesn't work. Your body doesn't repair with occasional visits. It repairs with consistency, what you might notice week by week. I like to be realistic here, because this isn't a dramatic before and after. Week 1. Many people notice more stable energy or less brain fog. Not always, but it's common. Week 2. Some notice tingling decreases slightly, or that their hands respond better in the morning. Weeks 3 and 4. If deficiency was a significant part of the issue, improvement is often clearer. Less burning, better stability, more tactile sensation. Month 2 and 3. In some cases, people feel back in their body, steadier when walking, with less fine motor clumsiness. And important, if there's no improvement, that's also useful information. Because tingling can have other causes: glucose levels, nerve compression, thyroid issues, B12 deficiency, etc. That's why measuring and evaluating is smart. If this is helping you, subscribe. It takes 1 second and helps you not miss the next videos. Let's continue. 3 warnings you absolutely must hear. Here are 3 short points you shouldn't miss. They're the 5% list, and they're gold. Get lab work. Ask to check B1 and also B6 and B12 if there are neurological symptoms. That way you're not guessing. If you have kidney disease or take multiple medications, talk to your doctor before supplementing. If you take diabetes medications or diuretics, monitoring is even more important because deficiencies often appear there. And one more thing, nerve support often works better when B1 isn't alone. B6 and B12 also participate in nervous system health. That doesn't mean take everything now. It means do it thoughtfully. A simple 4-week practical plan. If you want an easy framework to guide yourself, here's a simple version. Week 1. Request lab tests and start the protocol only if your doctor considers it appropriate. Week 2. If indicated, add a quality B complex that includes B6 and B12 in doses appropriate for your case. Week 2 to 4. Keep a quick record. From 1 to 10, how much tingling? How much burning? How's your balance? Week 4. Review results and adjust with your healthcare professional. That tracking is key. What gets measured gets understood, and when you understand it, you make better decisions. 3 habits that help more than you think. And I'll close with simple things that enhance everything. Less alcohol. Alcohol can affect B vitamins, real food, legumes, nuts, quality proteins, whole grains if you tolerate them. Hydration. It sounds basic, but it helps the body function better. It's not glamorous, but it works. If you feel tingling, burning, or numbness in your hands or feet, don't normalize it. It may be a sign that your nervous system is asking for help, And sometimes that help starts with something as concrete as checking your vitamins, especially B1, and correcting a deficiency consistently and under supervision. If you want more videos like this with clear and practical explanations, subscribe now and turn on notifications. See you in the next one.